I was watching a documentary. Uh, wow, probably like the third or fourth documentary that's been put out on R. Kelly,
Mhm.
and it
Kales.
came to me. Um, and of course, this is a while. This has been a while since this whole trial, but it
Mhm.
came to me as a pretty good show topic. I haven't had a real in depth conversation on this with anyone.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Mhm.
may skim around it on social media or whatever, but I think it
Mhm.
makes a pretty good topic. The question is, when it comes to R. Kelly, when it comes to Michael Jackson, when it
Mhm.
comes to Bill Cosby,
Mhm.
and to a lesser extent, this whole Will Smith thing.
Mhm.
Um, should celebrities be banned?
Mhm.
Should celebrities be banned for their previous content or from their previous content,
Mhm.
basically after they screw up? And I know
Ooh.
we've all had those type of conversations with people
Mhm.
since, especially since R. Kelly. I think he's
Yeah.
the best example of this,
Uh-huh.
where um, folks will say, "Oh, I'm not listening to R. Kelly anymore."
Ever.
Uh,
Ever.
yeah,
Just never
right,
ever.
right.
If ignition comes on while I'm in a club somewhere, a little anything, I'm getting up, I'm walking out, I'm
A
tossing my
month
drinks up.
prior
I'm
to that a month prior to that trial, you was all over R. Kelly. Couldn't turn him off. Couldn't turn him off. Now all of a sudden you have this position of, look, I can't listen to R. Kelly anymore. I'm trying to figure out what is the
mama
psychology behind that. What is your take on that whole thing?
mama rolling that body, got every man in
Nice,
here wishing.
nice. Kills.
Hells, y'all. Hey, friends and family, as you see, me and D Dub like to bring up a plus topic in this Cowboys Plus podcast. Y'all know what it is. We love us some Dallas Cowboys, but every now and again, we look at the world, see what's going on, and we throw us a plus topic in there. And it looks like my boy D Dub today wants to talk about fallen heroes. And can we still support our fallen heroes? Man, D-Dub, you brought up a good one, man. You brought up a good one, and you hit the trifecta when you started this bad boy off. When you're talking about R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and and the likes, should I say, and especially the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Man, it came about once these boys started dabbling in what we consider scandals. You had one school of thought that was done with them. Can't support them no more. Can't listen to them no more. Nothing. Yeah, the other school of thought was like, you got to, you got to, because they did so much for the people or for the genre or for their art or this, that, and the other. My opinion is partly, what did they do? Secondly, uh, when did they do it? Who allowed it to happen? And are you supporting the person? Are you supporting the art? Or what's going on there? And the two people that you're bringing up are Kelly and Bill Cosby. Those are two perfect examples. And I say it's two perfect examples because one of them is the man himself, R. Kelly. R. Kelly is R. Kelly. Yeah, it might be his stage name. We all know his name is Robert, but R. Kelly's a stage name. But when you look at Bill Cosby, there is a difference between Bill Cosby and Heathcliff Huxtable. Okay. Do you like Heathcliff Huxtable, the character, and what the character Heathcliff Huxtable did, what the entertainment was in the show? And can you separate the man from the character? It's much easier to separate the man from a character when you're talking about acting or movie or play. When you're talking about music, it's harder to separate. the person from, because it is R. Kelly. R. Kelly is singing. R. Kelly is up there. Some people say, well, Bill Cosby is acting. Yeah, Bill Cosby is acting, but I'm looking at his character and what his character is doing on the screen, and not what he, the man, is doing off the screen. Now, that's a long intro to my opinion without giving my opinion yet. So I'm gonna pause right there and get your input on, well, how do you think I'm going so far, and where are we going with this?
Yeah, I mean the key question or the key point that you made was Heathcliff Huxtable and Bill Cosby. These are not the same people. So I find it interesting that some people tend to be able to compartmentalize things, and others can't. You know, that's really is the crux of what we're talking about. I mean, people are flawed. I mean, I think we know. I think we should know that by now. Even if you didn't hear about R. Kelly doing this or that or the other, I mean, I'm sure he wasn't living the most wholesome life. If you even take that out of the scenario, he was doing probably something. I mean, let's go to hip hop, right? For some reason, we can listen to hip hop all day and not have any questions about what some of the artists may be doing in their personal lives. You know, now of course it may not be to the extent of R. Kelly, but where do we draw the line? Does that person have to be involved in the legal system for you to not to not partake in their content anymore? Or is that the difference between whether you listen to them or not? I'm kind of confused as to why this is an issue.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you started talking about the psychology. It comes to the psychology of a person or the psychology of human beings. Okay, if we feel in some type of way, whether it be real or perceived, that this person or what this person has done, does do, touched us significantly in some type of way, you will blur, sometimes completely erase that line of, well, hey, you gotta give him a pass. You know, you gotta give him a pass. And there are other people, if you didn't like him before the scandal, then your psychology is going to be, no, he's horrible, she's horrible, I can never, I'm just appalled by it. But in nearly every situation of a fallen hero, there is someone who has been very, very hypocritical in their actions. Okay. And you know, I'm gonna bring your boy up. You know, I'm gonna bring him up. The Donald. Okay. We got people out there who will swear up and down that they raise their children to be honest, upstanding, treat people of all color the right way, treat women the right way, live their lives on integrity. And that is what they instill in their children and how they want their children to grow up and how they want themselves to be, or at least to be perceived to be in life. But they are diehard, staunch supporters of Donald Trump, who is the antithesis of all of those things, Okay. And many of those things have been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. And you go, well, that's different. No, that's not different. That is exactly the same. So you ask yourself, the music that you were bopping and hip hopping and dancing and whatever to before the R. Kelly scandal came out, because the R. Kelly scandal came out, Do you go back in time and erase all of your feelings to that music, all of your thoughts to that music, all of the good times you had to that music? Do you simply erase it all? And that's the question. Do you erase all of it? I mean, because you know, before the scandal came out, R. Kelly was a hit maker.
Oh, the word genius was thrown out a
He
lot.
was a hit maker. He was a musical genius, and everything the boy touched turned to gold, if not platinum. And if you threw his song up on the radio, in the club, in your house while you're cleaning on Saturdays, it didn't make a difference. You were kicking it to that boy's music.
And now I got to erase my playlist. That's what you tell me.
Yeah, you got to erase it now. Got delete, delete.
I mean, what's going on? Am I taking a stand? Is that what the deal is? Is people feel like they're taking some type of social stand against
yes.
against R. Kelly or the things that he have been convicted of? I mean, we all are against what he was convicted of. I mean, who's out here saying that what he did was right?
Yeah.
So there's no stand to take.
No, there's no stand to take at all. But there's a if you go out there and look on YouTube, there's a video of Bootsy Badass, and D-Dub, I know that you are a huge fan of that dude, and you know exactly who he is and what he. No, D-Dub, admit it, man. You know all of these young hip hop artists. But anyway, I digress.
We will be discussing hip hop coming up, by the way, in future episodes. So stay tuned.
Yeah, your boy Bootsy Badass said that the Black community should be ashamed of themselves. If he was a white boy, the white community would be out there supporting him, substantiating him, and protesting to get him out of prison. Black people have let this man, and his point of view of it is, where were all of the people that allowed this to go on? And he points his finger directly at the parents of some of these young ladies. Some of these young ladies' parents knew that these young ladies were going to live with R. Kelly, be with R. Kelly, visit R. Kelly, and they turned the other way, especially in the beginning when they were getting a little money. You know, my little Susie is 16, but she's coming home with this. She's riding around in Bentleys and drop tops, and she's not hurting for anything, and nothing is going on. And Bootsy Badass is going, nigga, please. You know, and you know what was going on. So why aren't parents being held accountable?
Yeah, they were looking for a payday.
Yeah,
that's what he could bring, and they didn't want to believe that anything scandalous would have been going on in that house because of the desire for that payday that they thought was going to come from their daughter hooking up with your boy.
Exactly.
Hooking up business wise is one thing.
Exactly. So fans, I don't know if we've actually touched on should you or should you not, but it's a difficult thing. And if I bring up Bill Cosby, who I thought was just genius, not Bill Cosby himself, what I'm going to say is it was unbelievably genius of how Dave Chappelle put in one of his comedy routines of how he feels about Bill Cosby. Your boy Charlemagne said it's the greatest rape joke ever made. And where Dave Chappelle said, when this woman was saying you're insensitive, he said she didn't put herself in his shoes. He said, think about it, lady. I am a young Black comedian. Bill Cosby was my hero. He was my hero. Think about it. There was a time when Bill Cosby was considered one of, if not the top comedian in the world. And he opened the door for so many of people like me. And then I have to find out, and have met him, have been around him, have looked at him as a mentor and all of these things. And then I find out that he was allegedly drugging and raping women in their sleep. He said, now, how do you think I feel? It's like finding out that your father's a pedophile. You know, not saying that Bill Cosby was a pedophile. I'm just saying it's like finding out that your father, that you've looked up to, that you've loved, that you want to pattern your life after and everything, and you find out that he's done some horrific thing. Well, for those years that you looked up to him, you can't just take out a number 2 eraser and just erase that all away and go, that doesn't exist. And if we since we are unbelievable Dallas Cowboy fans, if we make this if we switch this to the Cowboys real quick, I remember a dude that used to wear number 88 on the field for the Cowboys, and I was watching news one night. They said that he was caught in a hotel room with a prostitute doing cocaine, and the very first words out of my mouth was, "Can he play Sunday?" But can he play Sunday? Craig, can he play Sunday? That's what I need. That's what I need to know. So it is a dichotomy. It's a hypocrisy. It's what has that person done for you personally? What is your psychology, and how you feel about that particular person?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, like I said before, it comes down to whether it almost seems like it comes down to whether they are actually convicted of something or not. And the reason why I say this is because Michael Jackson has seemingly escaped all of this. Yeah, you know, he's seemingly escaped. There hasn't been too many people that I've heard that say, "Oh, I just can't listen to Michael Jackson anymore."
No.
Why? Because he never saw the inside of a prison. But the question as to, I mean, he even says that he was sleeping with kids, right? A grown man sleeping with kids. So it almost seems like if that is just not enough for some people to turn away. But flip to R. Kelly, you know, he's been convicted. Go ahead.
And what's also something that you can give, I don't want to say if you want to give Michael Jackson credit for it, there may be a poor choice of words, but the people who were accusing him of this, and I'm thinking of the 2 people specifically that was on that special about Michael Jackson, it supposedly came out that they were lying about some things. Everything, I don't know.
Right.
But it was very proven that they were lying about some things. It does not appear that these young ladies who were in the R. Kelly situation were lying about anything at all.
Well, the same thing, Michael Jackson did pay some people off. Now, of course, you could say, well, he paid it just to go away. That doesn't mean that he actually did anything, you know, but it's all sketchy. It's all sketchy. And again, not sketchy enough for people to stop listening to Off the Wall, not sketchy enough for people to stop listening to Thriller, you know. So there seems to be this idea that, you know, if you're convicted, then you obviously did it. And if you're not, you obviously didn't do it. In some people's eyes.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by.
Wow.
A smooth criminal. Hey man, I mean, come on. It's Mike.
It is Mike. It definitely is Mike. All right.